Just in from Tom Pelissero of NFL Network, the New England Patriots are hiring Alex Van Pelt as their offensive coordinator per sources. Former NFL quarterback, longtime respected assistant, Van Pelt spent the past 4 seasons as the Cleveland Browns OC, now filling a big spot on Gerard Mayo's staff in New England.
Okay, how do we feel about this now? Not Nick Caley.
On the surface, I think it's great. It's not Nick Caley. It's not a retread who did, what's Phil Perry's term, a year abroad with L.A.
So Nick Caley, to me, was always underwhelming.
But a real OC, and if you just do a quick search, of Alex Van Pelt, I remember when he played for the Bills like 20 years ago at quarterback.
I do.
He's got a lot of quarterback experience as a coach. He was a QB's coach in Green Bay not too long ago, Buffalo for a minute in the last 15 years or so. So he's worked with quarterbacks. To me, that's the most important thing.
Okay, he worked in Green Bay from 2014 to 2017, so right in the middle of the Aaron Rodgers run there. Trying to think when LaFleur took over. I don't know if that was with LaFleur or not. That might have been with McCarthy. Then in 2018, he went to the Bengals for 2 years, 2018, 2019, so pre-Burrow.
That's pre-Burrow.
Pre-Burrow, I'm just trying to figure out what offense he runs. Cleveland this last 4 years. Which is...
Why is he available?
Kevin Stefanski, right?
Which is Stefanski, which is something. Keep talking.
Stefanski was in Minnesota when it was Zimmer. So I don't know what system you really call that. But what was your question, Mazz?
My question is, why is he available? Again, he was with Cleveland. They were a playoff team. They finished, I was just looking it up, 10th in the league in scoring, I believe. So, why did he get fired? Why is he available?
I don't know. So, I didn't like Caley because he never touched the quarterback, never called plays. And he was just with McVay for 1 year. So what, he was going to come back and run the McVay system after just doing, again, the semester abroad? It's not, he's not, the McVay thing isn't in his DNA. Josh McDaniels' system is in his DNA. So I didn't love Nick Caley. So I didn't, and one of the reasons was he had never touched the quarterback and never called plays. Well, Alex Van Pelt has worked with quarterbacks his entire career and called plays. I would assume he called plays, but who knows? Maybe it was Stefanski in
it felt
Cleveland.
like someone maybe had to be the fall guy this year. I mean, how many quarterbacks?
Well, but what I'm saying is, did Stefanski call his own plays in Cleveland, or did Alex Van Pelt?
I'm not too sure. Let me see if I can do a search. But either way, how many quarterbacks did Cleveland alone work with just this season? After Deshaun Watson went down, was it 5, 6, whatever the hell it was?
So how does Joe Flacco go there, surprise everybody, then get good quarterback play from a guy you never thought they'd get good quarterback play from, and they fire the quarterback's coach, an offensive coordinator.
Exactly. So I don't it makes me wonder whether there was some issue with him and Deshaun Watson. Is that they got a crap ton of money invested in Watson. The offense took a while to get going when Watson was healthy, and then he got a little bit better, and then he got hurt again. And so they did well with Flacco. So to me, I'm guessing there's some sort of issue there with how it worked with Watson.
Well, so I'm just reading from an SI article here after they fired Van Pelt and ended up hiring Ken Dorsey as the new OC. Kevin Stefanski has a decision to make ahead of the 2024 season. During his 4 years at the helm, calling the offensive plays has been his responsibility and his alone.
So, right. So Stefanski's the play caller. Van Pelt didn't call plays. Apparently he called plays for a week when Stefanski was out with something. Again, I'm just reading on the fly here, too.
That might have been during the COVID year, maybe?
Whatever.
Okay.
He called the team's wild card playoff game against the Steelers in 2021, and Van Pelt took over as offensive play caller for the game when Stefanski missed that game. So, be that as it may. So, you've gone from someone who's never touched a quarterback or called plays to a guy who's a quarterback coach, but not a lot of experience calling plays. I know I've been bitching about Nick Caley's lack of experience and all these guys' lack of experience. Now they got a guy who's experienced, and you know what I'm going to say? He feels like a retread.
He is. Well, so again, I heard the name and I didn't get excited. I can tell you that.
I mean, you guys got to be happy about something. It's not Nick Caley. How about that? It's a guy who's worked with quarterbacks.
Better than Nick Caley.
As Alex Barth also points out, Barth here at the Sports Hub, there were 11 reported interviews for this OC job. Alex Van Pelt wasn't one of them. So, I don't know, a little bit more clandestine, behind the scenes, this is our guy. Maybe we've targeted him the whole time. There could be that going on.
I don't know. I need to find out more. No, again, I need to find out more. Murray, I'm sorry.
No, I know, but it's
just think this guy was
even I'm surprised. I've been working on this show close to 10 years. Here's a bag of money. No, I don't like it.
Well, how much money are we talking about?
Jim.
Where'd it come from?
Okay, I'm just saying, I like it better than Kaylee. If they actually had him in their back pocket and they knew this was their guy and they were just talking to guys to, like, I don't know why you need to talk to Nick Cayley to mine someone for information. Like, that's just silly. But okay, if that's what they were doing and this was their guy all along and they had a plan, I'll give them credit for it. I will. Unlike you, I'm fair. So, and I'm looking at you, Mazz, and you, Murray. I'm fair.
I embrace being unfair.
He's more experienced. He checks more of the boxes that I wanted. And if this constitutes a plan that they actually had and not just flying by the seat of their pants, then I'll give them credit for it, and I like those things about it. There you go.
Okay, I don't know enough. I don't. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I don't know enough. I want to know why he was fired in Cleveland.
I do have some yeah buts. Jimmy first.
So two things. One is Bill Callahan, who is a name that Bedard mentioned about an offensive line coach. Maybe this is a path to him. The other thing is apparently Cleveland ran a West Coast scheme, which is what we've all wanted the Patriots to do, a faster moving offense. This could be a good hire.
Yeah, it could be, sure.
It could also suck. I'm sorry. I don't know enough about this guy. I want to know why he was fired in Cleveland.
If
West
Bedard
Coast
wants Bill
Cleveland-
Callahan for the offensive line, and this is a path to make the offensive line better, then good hire, Patriots. Good job. Super Bowl, here we come.
Why can't you just hire Bill Callahan and not have Van Pelt here?
I don't know.
Like, I don't understand that. I want to know more. I'm sorry. I'm not being a dick about it.
You are. You both are.
No, I'm not. I've given them their due for the things that I like about it.
It just was. I was expecting.
Period.
If you told me they were getting.
Has this guy ever been considered a hot up and coming offensive figure in the league?
Not that I can remember.
No, he hasn't, and he is not what you would say is like the Zach Robinson, who's been Sean McVay's quarterback coach, pass game coordinator, taken with Raheem Morris to Atlanta. Like, that feels like someone who's in that pipeline is the next guy, was a hot name like that guy. This isn't Mike McDaniel. This isn't that Zach Robinson. It's not. It's something different. He's a little bit more of a journeyman. A little bit. I mean, he's... Again,
I don't ever recall Alex Van Pelt as being talked about as one of the bright, innovative minds in the NFL.
He's moved around a lot.
Exactly. He was the Tampa Bay quarterback coach in 2010 and 2011. Then he was the Packers running back coach in 2012 and 2013.
You got to get a check.
Then he became the quarterbacks coach in 2014 and 2017, where basically what you're doing there is carrying Aaron Rodgers' shoulder pads out to the practice field. Then he became, that was a shot and unnecessary. Yes, you're right. But really, do you think that a-hole was being coached at that point in his career? He had won his Super Bowl. He had won his MVPs. Aaron Rodgers had gone full a-hole by that point. He was done after 2017. In 2018, he went to be the quarterback coach in Cincinnati. 2018 and 2019. Who was their quarterback in 2018 and 2019?
That's a good question.
Who drove the thing into the ground? Was it the Red Rocket there?
Yeah, Dalton. Yeah, good. There we go.
Andy Dalton. He did a decent job with Andy Dalton. Probably got the most out of that guy that you could get. There's some positive commentary, Jimmy.
Thank you.
And then he went to Cleveland from 2020 to 2023 and just got his ass fired, even though they made the playoffs with a backup quarterback, a couple backup quarterbacks. You would have thought he would have done a good job there and would have been rewarded or promoted on that. And now he's your offensive coordinator. I'll take it over Nick Cayley. How's that?
Okay, but again, I'm not looking for the least sucky coach.
At this point, I am.
So again, tell me what the upside is.
You wanted real experience, a guy that has been an offensive coordinator, right? Has worked with quarterbacks.
And but saying the West Coast is not like Mike McCarthy runs a West Coast offense. That is like antiquated the old West Coast offense. It's not what Shanahan has done with it or McVay has done with it and sort of move that thing forward. It's McCarthy still runs something that's from 20 years ago and frankly it blows. So is that what Van Pelt runs?
That's what he did. That's according to his Pro Football Reference. I just think, here's somebody who's touched a lot of quarterbacks. He's called plays. He played in the league. Checks all the boxes. Go Pats!
It seems to me like he's only called the plays once.
That's more than Nick Cayley, who probably didn't want the job.
True.
See, now here's a story I want to read.
True.
What I'm hearing is behind Brown's changes as Alex Van Pelt is fired by Terry Pluto, who's been in Cleveland forever.
I think he might have covered Bill. He's
Okay.
been there so long.
But I can't access the story because I have to subscribe.
Oh,
Just assume it's negative because he hates everything.
I got to work around with that.
Attaboy, Murray.
Okay,
That's the one you want.
more information on the Patriots'
Then it's negative towards Alex Van Pelt.
new offensive coordinator. Breaking news at this hour: the Patriots have their guy. How do you feel about it? How do we feel about it?